Hey, welcome to another video. Here in this video we will look at booleans. So that means we'll look at the values true and false. In Julia, if you want to have a value true, you just write true and then you get a boolean true. And the same for false. Just write false and then you get the value false. You can store these values in variables. So for example, I can store true and var, and the next time I write var, the value true is saved. Here in this editor, I can just write my variable, and then by pressing holding shift and then pressing enter, I can evaluate one line of code or one block of code. So if I wanna save false in the second variable, I can just press shift and enter, and then this line is evaluated. And here in the workspace I see all the variables that are currently saved. So var as true and var2 as false. The next thing you will do with true and false with boolean variables is to use function on them. The simplest function is the exclamation mark. This function takes a boolean and returns a boolean. And for true, it will return false. So if I evaluate this line, I get false, and for false, I will get true. Because this is a function, I also can use it with brackets, so I can write true and I will get false. The next thing are the ors and the and. For example, if I have and, I can write true, and this will naturally return true. Or I can have true and false. This will return false, and false and false also will return false. Next thing is an or, and by or I just use these two lines. It's like in every programming language, and only one of these two must be true and then will return true. Because these are also functions, I can write true, false, and I get a syntax error. Let me see. Okay. So when I will use this, I have to put brackets around it. Okay, so only this one isn't as a function. I can use it with brackets. The difference is that two ors, if here isn't true, the next statement won't be evaluated, so the language doesn't compute this value if it's a function or something like that. And the same is with and. The first thing is false, then the second thing isn't evaluated. So for example, if here is a function f of some arguments, then this side of the or the and isn't calculated. This saves time. Okay, then the next thing we will look at are the function all, and this function takes as arguments booleans, and it will return true if all arguments are true. So this function takes an array, and we had to put these brackets around the truth, and if only one of these are false, the function will return false. The next function is any, and any is like an or only one of the truths must be true and will return true, and the all function is like an and, so all of the values must be true that this function returns true. If only one is false, it will return false. So now it will return true. The next thing we can do with booleans is add them, and true is like 1 and false is like 0, so we can just add them and can also multiply them. I don't know why you want to multiply them, but you can. So true times true is 1 times 1, and this will return true. And the next thing, because you can multiply them, you can take power of it. So if you have true up to power of 4, you will get 4. And you can also do something like that, and this will be a 1. It's the same as 1 plus 4 to the power of 4. Then you can look at a type. Type of, and then you see the type of true is a boolean. When you save them in a variable, you can also declare which data type it is. So you just to put these two in front of the boolean, and then you can, for example, try to save an integer, but it won't work because you only can now save booleans, but in the global scope you can't. So you have to write a function test, and then you can, for example, return the var, and if you run it, see, returns a true, and if we put a 1 here, and okay, the 1 will be saved as a boolean, and if we put 0 here, it will be false, and if we put a -1 here, Juliet doesn't know what to do, and it will throw an error because -1 is not defined as a boolean. Yes, I think that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.